Tallinn, FiCampus organised a macro-regional conference on financial instruments, supported by the European Agricultural Fund for Rural Development, the EAFRD. This was the 7th FiCampus event of its kind, and it coincided with the start of Estonia's first presidency of the European Union.
Our slogan for the presidency is unity through balance. I think it's also relevant for the financial instruments because if you talk about the future of the common agricultural policy, the possible limited size of the budget, it's definitely one of the key issues, how to find the right mix of or balance of different instruments. Coming to our presidency priorities on agriculture, our main priority or focus is on the future of the common agricultural policy. This is the topic which has also been chosen as for discussion of agricultural ministers in formal meeting with a special focus on risk management, as the case is that number and intensity of different market and also production related risks are increasing.
Now, why is that the case, or what is the importance of financial instruments? I think they have the possibility, or they create the possibility to attract private financing. They give the possibility of access to finance to projects and organizations who otherwise wouldn't have that access. And with that, the instrument simply improves and enlarges the possibility of financing for a number of important EU policies and initiatives, and also for rural development. And we would like to bring member states and regions to make more use of these instruments, in particular as we have to see that in the coming period and in the future we will have probably more budgetary constraints to face, and we will have limited financial resources to respond to the requirements. And what we see outside there is simply that after 2020 we will have more needs in view for the agriculture sector to innovate, to modernize in order to become more competitive, but also to deliver better towards environmental and climate change objectives.
Yes, so we have a platform called FiCampus. It's a platform set up by the European Commission, including DG Agri, which provides funding for capacity building, awareness raising, events, etc. Really to try and inspire managing authorities to implement financial instruments, to look at the possibilities of what it can provide. So the case studies provide inspiration, examples of what other people are doing, and we find that that's probably the best way for managing authorities to have confidence, to get the confidence they need to move into this sort of new area of using grants. Within there we also have some more specialized services, including targeted coaching, which is a little bit more of a bespoke support for certain managing authorities that are at a much more early stage in the implementation of financial instruments. And then of course we do studies looking at future opportunities, what could be new areas for developing financial instruments. We've done something recently on price volatility in the agricultural sector. And then last but not least, we also provide, not necessarily under FiCampus, but through other programs, direct support to managing authorities that want to, for example, undertake ex-ante assessments. That's something that needs to be done before setting up a financial instrument, or helping them with the design and the selection of intermediaries.
The conference heard about the advantages of using financial instruments from the perspective of managing authorities and financial intermediaries involved in the current 2014 to 2020 programming period.
The financial instruments are easier to use for entrepreneurs, that's clear. Of course, they are not, in a sense, a 100% alternative to grants, because they work differently. But I think in general for economy, it's easier to use financial instruments and it's more efficient to use financial instruments. That's the main, let's say, goal or difference to grants. The main advantage actually is that it's much more flexible. There is less bureaucracy, and in long term your investment is more efficient because you have to think through your investment, your business, because you have to pay it back. That's the main difference to grants, and that is very important in long term.
Noi siamo la prima regione in Italia a approvare queste nuove misure che potranno finanziare le garanzie agli investimenti delle imprese agricole. Cosa succede? Un'impresa agricola va in un istituto bancario a chiedere un prestito e questo prestito per metà viene garantito dalla Regione Veneto tramite questo strumento assieme alla BEI e alla Commissione Europea. La Regione Veneto su questo tema è stata innovativa, è stata pioniera. Noi abbiamo trascinato anche le altre regioni italiane verso la costituzione di queste nuove piattaforme finanziarie. Abbiamo messo a disposizione 15 milioni del nostro piano di sviluppo rurale per creare un volano insieme ai finanziamenti europei della BEI e della FEI per altre 8 volte e quindi sicuramente diamo un budget molto importante a disposizione del mondo agricolo.
I think it's important to make the public aware and that's why these events are important, and I congratulate you for the organization about the advantage of using financial instruments to leverage on the already existing supporting forms for agriculture and rural areas. The guarantees particularly are important because they represent a leverage tool. They help to multiply the effects of the public supporting public policies, and from our perspective, namely the European Association of Guarantees, they can be blended with other forms of support like grants. So we exist to serve the entrepreneurs, the farmers, the rural areas community, and these guys need money in different, let's say, forms and packages to finance their ideas and to innovate. If they do that well, we can have more productivity, we can have more health, we can have more jobs, we can keep them in the rural areas, which is very important from the European perspective. And using these financial instruments is a good tool to do it, so I congratulate you for that. Of course, there are a few things that we should evolve on. I mean, we still need to improve the process and the procedures. We still need to try at the European level to simplify the way these financial instruments are set up. We still need to, let's say, do all the way around in order to blend different instruments with different sources of financing, like the Rural Development Programs ones, the so-called Juncker Plan, the FC ones, even the other structural funds. We need to mix them all and to be able or be capable to supply financing for different stages of the life cycles of the entrepreneurs and from different needs.
FC targets economically and technically viable projects, and projects that also which are of riskier nature and of innovative nature. So typically in the agricultural and rural development sector, we see a lot of potential for projects such as precision farming, new technology developments for farmers, sustainable agriculture, obviously. And more specifically for investment platforms, so investment platforms in a simple definition, it's a way of pulling together several resources, public and private resources. And I would see the fit for the rural development for some very particular cases or very peculiar markets where there is a specific need to blend public and private resources.
In addition to hearing about funding matters for EAFRD financial instruments, the conference participants also learned more about the FI Compass Targeted Coaching Advisory Service.
The targeted coaching was an initiative launched by Commissioner Hogan in October 2015 in one of the FI Compass conferences on EAFRD financial instruments. Under the initiative, we tried to help managing authorities understand what are the most recent processes, how financial instruments work, what is the nature of the instruments, what they can expect for their programs. We give advice on policy and content, and we hope that with this service we can achieve much more with the financial instruments.
Further information about this event is available through the FI Compass website past event pages.